Hey everybody, Batmerk here. Tonight I'm going to be reviewing John Carpenter's The Thing. Um, John Carpenter is a famous horror director. He's done a lot of really cool movies, and he uses Kurt Russell in a lot of his movies. I think about 5 of them. I think this is the second movie he did with Russell. The first one being Elvis. It's like a made-for-TV movie that was. But this right here was an actual remake of another movie called The Thing, and it was written by a book. I think from the 1930s, but I forgot the name of it. You can definitely check it out on like Wikipedia. But yeah, I've seen some of the original Thing, and this remake is way better. It's awesome. Kurt Russell and Carpenter, they're like peas and carrots, salt and pepper. But this story, I think it's one of the best horror movies ever made. Definitely like in the top 10. It's scary. It's brooding. It's something different. It's out. It's out in the snow. It's in Antarctica. And so, yeah, this is the DVD I got right here. This is at least 10 years old right here. Yeah, there's Kurt Russell. They don't really show much on here. There's a lot of special features, though. I'm going to have to get the Blu-ray one day. But, yeah, I think there's even commentary and things like that on it. It's pretty awesome. But, yeah, let's get into the story. Takes place in Antarctica, like in the 1980s. And it has these, basically starts off, spoilers, with this Norwegian research team. It's flying. It's going after this dog, and he's about to kill this sledge dog. And this American helicopter pilot comes by and he shoots the Norwegian, and then the dog gets shot too. So they take it back to the kennel and at the American research base. The scientists do, and yeah, they put the dog in there, and then little do you know that the dog basically there's something wrong with it. And then they find out the dog has been infected with like this virus, and as the story goes, they unearth this spaceship. They find it's been in the ice out there, and they took some samples from some of the Norwegian. I think it was the Norwegians. I can't remember some of the data they got from the Norwegians that basically states that the aircraft has been in the ice for 10,000 years, or no, 100,000 years. Sorry, and as the story progresses, you come to find out that the dog had a parasitic like alien inside of it, and it's been inside the kennel, absorbing all the other dogs, and it's crazy, like scary effects the way that it's shown. And now that they come to find out that alien parasite is spread to one of the crew members, and I think there's about 8 to 10 people that live that are the scientists that are on the crew, and they start doing like blood tests and things like that, trying to figure out like who probably has the virus, and it's just basically like kind of like a whodunit, like you don't know who is who or what's what, and they like take one of the guys and they like lock him outside and stuff like that, and they bring him back in, I think, and he starts having like a panic attack, and then he starts having like a heart attack, and one of the guys basically tries to give him like CPR, and he's basically about to like pump his chest, like push down on his chest, and the dude's chest like fucking opens up and turns into this big mouth and just bites the other guy's arm, just bites his arms off, and he turns into this big thing, man, like this big monster, and it's pretty crazy. And then after that, his like head starts to rip off, and it's just like all these crazy like special effects and sounds, like it's pretty crazy. It starts to like, just like whoosh, 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 like you hear all these crazy like noises, like all these tentacles come out, like his head gets ripped off, and then his head goes down on the ground, and it grows legs, and basically it's like a spider, and it's just fucking crazy, and it starts running around on the ground. Okay, and so these special effects right here, they're all basically like they're like it's all like puppets, and it's all filmed like with mechanical robots and puppeteers and stuff like that, and makeup. So it's nothing like the way that the way movies are made nowadays. And even the movie It, like I think the second chapter, they took some cues from that, like basically like, oh, that was kind of like a ripoff from The Thing right there. Like, what did they do right there? That was totally like a ripoff of The Thing, because I saw that in the movie theater. But there was something about it, like the human mind knows when a a computer generated image is on camera, like we know, like we just know. Just like when we're driving down the street and we, stick our neck out and look at someone that's about to turn into us and crash on us, that person's going to look at us and know that, like, we're looking at them. Like, we know, like, humans just know when people are looking at them, just like we know when a special effect isn't real. We just know. Like, it's just it's just basically like, like our primal thing that's a part of us. So that's the one thing about this movie. It has a lot of, like, really cool, like, special practical effects, and it was done by the guy that did The Howling, and his name was Rob Bottin, and he also did RoboCop, and just it's that one scene alone when they're working on when they're basically fighting that guy, and his his chest opens up and his head grows legs and crawls around the floor. That right there is worth the price of admission, so you could definitely check that out. But yeah, then they have like this like massive like fight, and Kurt Russell has to go in there and destroy this big like monster. Like right here, I'm just kind of thinking of that monster that he fights, and it's like inside of this like kennel, and there's like these like there's like this like fence that's in there, and it's in the dark, and it's just they use a lot of like lighting techniques in there, and you can't even like see all of it. So basically, like you see less, and the mind creates more, so it's even more scary. And he has the only thing that they can kill the thing with is basically fire. That's the only thing that'll stop it. And he takes it out, and then basically most of the guys get taken out, and it's just left with I think his name's David Keith or Keith David. I always get his name confused, but it's the guy that does the voice of Spawn, the actor that does the voice of Spawn. He also does the voice of Goliath on the badass cartoon Gargoyles. It's just him and Kurt Russell left, and they're just sitting there on the base after everything's destroyed, and it kind of leaves you like with an open ending, like, oh, well, I bet maybe one of these guys has the thing in it. You know what I mean? And that's kind of how the story ends. They in 2011 they made a prequel to the movie, and they used a lot of CGI in there, and it wasn't half as good. However, the movie I think was entertaining, and it did give some like backstory into like what happened with the Norwegians, like how the dog got infected and what that where all that came from. And they did such a good job in the prequel, like setting up everything, like every little detail. They connected everything. And like there's even an axe that's in the wall, like in the original movie. They put that they show you how that axe got stuck in the wall, like in the prequel. So I definitely recommend for sure checking out that 2011 one. It's it's not even half as good as this one, but it's still like worth watching, and you actually get to see the alien itself, that where the thing came from, like in its alien form. So that was pretty cool. And then also I heard that Blumhouse, the one that did the new Halloween kind of like prequel, or however you want to call it, like the new Halloween sequel. Sorry, with Jamie Lee Curtis. Well, that dude, he just picked up the rights to remake this movie. Like he just picked the rights up like a month ago. So they are gonna remake this movie, and the book that it's based off of, there's like a bunch of different chapters. I think there's like 3 or 4 different chapters. So there's a lot of stuff that they could put into it, so I'm pretty excited about that. So this movie right here, John Carpenter basically considers it to be like part 1 of his cosmic horror trilogy that's inspired by H.P. Lovecraft. The second movie would be The Prince of Darkness, and the third one is In the Mouth of Madness. So I would recommend checking out those movies too. But yeah, The Thing, I definitely give this movie 2 horns way up. And I also picked up this beer right here at the beer store. It's by one of my favorite brewers, Lagunitas, something easy, Lagunitas Ale. I think it's probably like a 5 or something %. Yeah, it's 5%. Yeah, 5.7. So there's that. Take a crack at this bad boy. Not bad for $2. Not bad. And then you could pair it with like some of these like Flamin' Hot Munchies. These are the bomb. for $1, and this was $2, so for like $3, you get a nice little something to sip on. And for that price, yeah, I'd definitely give the Lagunitas something easy. I'll give that 2 horns up. And right now, folks, I'm actually doing my own comic book too. It's called Butch Cleaver. It's about I don't know if you guys have heard about it, but it's gonna be on Indiegogo, and I'm basically doing a pre-launch right now. And if you want, you could sign up and get on my email list. And I'm gonna start talking about different like stretch goals and just things like that, info, and trying to get like my email built up. And I'm gonna discuss with all my backers and potential backers like ideas about what we can do with this campaign. And yeah, it's basically about a butcher that gets killed and he's brought back to life by a voodoo curse, and he gets the power to weaponize bone on a molecular level. So right here he's building like cleavers and saws, and right there that's the bone cleaver. He can make a gun, you know, he can do all kinds of stuff. But he's you know, he's a butcher like in a Wild West type gothic western dark fantasy thing that I made up, and he's not really, you know, building crazy stuff. So you know, I wanted to keep it kind of small, but there is crazy characters in the town. You know, it's kind of reminds me of, inspired by like you know, Gotham City, where, you know, we got the Penguin, you got Black Mask, you know, you got the Riddler and all these crazy cats. That's how I wanted this story to be. But for there to be a villain that's worse than him, I gotta have villains that are crazier than him. So yeah, if you want to check that out, and this is my campaign right here, Butch Cleaver. You just come here, you can check out the trailer I got, and there's some more stuff right there. That's Butch Cleaver, with his bone shooter and his six shooter and his cleaver. And then right here I got a picture of him and his best friend Tor. That's his bull. You'll see a little bit of him in the book. He rides him around. That's the logo, and then yeah, that's Butch Cleaver right there when he hatches from his bone cocoon, when he awakens. So yeah, but that's it, folks. As always, thanks for watching. Hit that like button, subscribe, ring that bell. You know, if you like comics, you like metal, you like movies, you like brewskis, then check out this channel. I got a daily content here on metal, movies, and brewskis. You guys have a great night.